Looks like everything is set up, ready to go. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? I have a situation here where this is normally my setup to fade a opening range level, and we are seeing it kind of set up here. There's a couple wicks off in that area. Once the market opens, it's going to be probably a quick action, potentially looking to short this off. I want to see it kind of hold up at these highs. If it starts to fade into VWAP, yes, we're not going to short that yet right off the jump, but based on the way price is acting, looks like it wants to push up and be in this previous day overnight high area, which is technically overnight highs are now 205. All of this confluence here giving me the thought process of let's get it. So we're going to do that. I'm going to refresh the chart and make sure everything is squared away, ready to go. Tilt's clean. We got ourselves our short squeeze espresso. Can't fuel the day without it. So getting ready for this quick off the jump. If we do get that set up and that ready to go, I may look to add contracts in if it gets heavy kind of quickly, right? The overnight low is not far off. Could be a good target for a rotational type day after yesterday being a trending day where our targets pretty much got hit off on, or our idea. I drew down, I took a couple losses, but nothing that we can't handle because we locked ourselves out and made sure that we had capital to trade for today. Man, ready for the day. I'm ready for it to start. We got about 6 minutes and change. I think we chop around up here. I think maybe we try and push new highs. If we can fade right through this overnight high, rotate, first target's VWAP, second target's overnight high. If you could kind of come back in, that 18,172 level is now VWAP, or right just above VWAP, just below VWAP. Let's call it that. That's my major structure level that we were looking at here on here yesterday. In my write-up, if you had read it or if you heard me talk about it, this level right here, this 18,027.50 level, acted as resistance. This is a longer-term level. I didn't draw this up last week or week before. It's been up there for a while, right? Came run into it, gapped above it, rotated below it, opened above. I said if we open above this 1827.50 level, it's probably bullish. It probably pushes us into maybe the 172 level. I didn't think we had enough juice to get there yesterday, especially after that choppy early session, but it gave up and just ground up the rest of the day, closing on the highs at that 18,172. I said the ultimate probably high pushing up into 277 for the end of the week. So if that's the case, if it's going to be end of the week style trading, where if we do get there where it just kind of continues to be grinding bullish all week, I think we do get the pullback today. I think this gives up the high, rotates down through 172, which is our lower end, and then down to our overnight low here is 151. If you give up 151, down into that 18,120 is probably a good pullback for bulls to start stepping in and take it to the long side. So that's what I'm looking at as far as this 172 level is concerned, right? Anything where we're at this high, fail a breakout, rotate back down to it, break it, fail to break down because we are still in like a little bit of a bullish uptrend. You got Apple with some of this AI news, all that whatnot. Kind of gives you the idea that the bullishness steps in to continue on the rest of the week. Not a ton of news. We did have some Fed speakers yesterday. The Fed speakers yesterday did talk about, from my understanding, they were kind of a little hesitant on rate cuts again. So, that's another thing that may fade us just off the jump for that, that bit of information, right? Like I said, I may look to add contract on. I don't want it to set up yet. I want it to go at open, or at least, maybe on open, give me that push up into 208, 210, then come down and fail this level. If I come down and fail this level at all, I think that the rotation is on to the downside just to clean up the inventory, just to get the market to breathe a little bit, to get it to be able to continue on to the upside. I don't think we have enough information to push ourselves through to the high right away, right off the jump. I don't see it being like a strong trending market this week. And that's what I said. A lot of things are going to take time, slowly kind of grind through. So, we have the optimism at 9 That's not really a number that I've watched. The RCM tip economic optimism index. It's just kind of there. I don't really see it frequently affect the market. It's all relative, right? I think you could tell what I search on this computer a lot of coffee stuff. So you're gonna start seeing those advertisements popping up on here. But if you don't know, daytradingcoffeeco.com offers you 15% off every day, all day on all your products, except for the subscriptions. If you use my code PolicingPips. Eventually, like I said, we are partnering with. I just signed an agreement with Lightspeed. So I'm just waiting for my my codes and everything to get everything started for everybody to be able to take advantage of the Lightspeed brokerage. And I really want to be able to eventually give away some full funded accounts after some vetting, of course, with the profits from the coffee company. Waiting for this market to open patiently. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe. Head over to tradecaster.com. That's where I have all of my trading information. It's where we do everything. It's the best platform for streaming for traders. It's got everything you could need in here as a viewer. If you don't like my room, you got plenty of other rooms where people are doing stocks, bonds, options, anything you could think of. That's where it's coming into. I like this. This is nice. I like this little bit of a bullish push right here, pre-market, right before market opens. I would like a failure of this level here to get me involved. The reason I'm not going to go right into that overnight high is because it could just come in, tickle it, and go. Realistically, this is creating just new overnight high, new overnight high, new overnight high. So I am going to use this level here now as my overnight high. Then I'm going to consider this some manipulation. So the level that's really going to be of interest is that high there, not this manipulative level. Another reason why I want to come down and fail this, I believe that if there is some sort of people buying right here, pre-market, ready to front run some sort of pop off, that this is where their stops are going to be at. So possibly look to kind of catch their stops and continue our run to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for as far as a move here. And then if I can get down through here, maybe I add a second contract and really try to capitalize on the day today. Nvidia is ticking down right here pre-market. Let's see what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft really just popped. I don't know what happened to Microsoft. Microsoft popped off. Not telling me what the news. Scrutiny over cloud practices. A Spanish security startup. Nothing that I think is important, but it just popped off of a key level at 412. Maybe we don't get the pullback. Maybe it just continues on to the downside, upside because of this Microsoft move. What is the Microsoft news? No idea. It doesn't matter. I'm going to still fade this level. Let's see. We are just about to open. Let's get this going here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is open. Let's see what happens here. Gonna look to fade this through that overnight high, right? I want this thing to kind of fall off the table, start to break through these levels. Like I said, I'm gonna add a contract here. I want to see if this thing will go pretty quickly, and if it does, I'm gonna be in and I'm gonna be short, and I'm gonna take it a little, hopefully get this second. I'll take the first off at VWAP, and then let the rest ride. That's the reason why I didn't put it right at the previous day high. You see that liquidity grab there. Patience. Let it whip around a bit. Like I said, if it gets through here, we do get filled. Shouldn't break back above this level. It should come down fast based on, especially on yesterday's, price action, the way it acted. You can see our little wedge pattern type forming here, right? This little bit here. Something like that. Price whipping around. Microsoft gave up that high, rotating downside. Wow, that's a pump if I've ever saw. That's crazy. See, that's a good reason why we set our orders in to go short below that key level, because clearly acted as support there. Not sure what's pumping it. Nvidia's not really rocking. Is Apple the reason this is going? No. I mean, Apple is going upside, but nothing like the way we're seeing NQ just jump off right here. Tons of orders there. I guess they just wanted to buy it up today. I didn't think straight up was the thing, but to each their own. If this fails now, that's a great failure, because a candle like that should not fail, is what I'm thinking. If we don't get an opportunity to enter anything, right? 277 is that overhead that I was talking about. 277's up here. If we have no opportunities to get in long or short, then it just is what it is, right? We just execute according to our plan. Yesterday we tried to execute outside of our zones, and it kind of got us in a little bit of trouble. So today we're literally just waiting to see what will happen with this. Maybe that's that ultimate upper VWAP band that wants to get ripped, right? It's riding that upper VWAP band. S&Ps, Russell ticked down and now is trying to creep back up as well. So everything's showing a little bit of strength. Apple, Nvidia. Nvidia is very indecisive. Microsoft's still pushing down into that 412 level. This is very interesting price action to me. Maybe it's just that last little blow off top here to get us involved to continue on, or there were some heavy shorts and they just wanted to shake them out. Really, no panic. I have my orders set. If they go, they go. The only problem I have with that is VWAP curls up really fast like that, so I don't want to add that second. That was really if it's going to flush hard, fast, quick, off the jump. That's really what I wanted to see. And now I'm going to go here with it because I'm going to tell you in a minute. I want to fail this big ignition candle here. There should be a bunch of stops there. The previous day high, if that fails, it accepts us back into that zone. And if this whole big move gets canceled, then there's going to be more downside pressure to this move. And getting in up a little bit higher is not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, it's a good thing for a short, but realistically, fading that level as a failed break is, to me, more important than waiting for that break of that initial one. If you are a momentum breakout person, that overnight high breakout right there just played out really, really nicely. Oh, I do have some espresso left. I thought it was done. Yes. I have nothing right now, so I'm waiting. That's a nice little setup, though, there. Wick off high a bit. Delta kind of just not making new highs also, so that's another good sign, potentially, for a good fade spot. But I think it's ready to go. Continue, just kind of do what it wants to do. teaching coffee stuff. I apologize. That was my bad there. About extraction of espressos. If you are a coffee aficionado or somebody who really enjoys coffee, or or owns a coffee company like I do, you end up forgetting that grind size is quite important to what you're brewing, right? So some people may think, oh, this coffee is terrible, or this coffee tastes a little bit like it tastes a little bitter, or it's a little too much for my palate. There's actually the most important thing that you can do is adjust your grind size and the texture of the bean, and how you're, depending on what kind of brewing method you're doing, that really makes a huge difference, right? So quick tidbit, if you're new to espressos and you're doing it out of a new machine, if your beans are a bit bitter, it doesn't matter if they're our beans or somebody else's beans or whatever, look to adjust that grind size to be a slight bit more coarse, because you're probably over extracting a bit to make it a bit bitter. So there's your little tip of the day while we're waiting for this price to give us what we want here. I want this thing to kind of just give up on this, fail this big ignition candle here, rotate us down, get through VWAP, get to overnight lows. That would be the ideal situation for me on a day like today. This big candle, for no reason, decided that it wanted to run up. Microsoft's pushing down into that 411, 412 area, and now it's flushing. I like this setup here on the top end. I mentioned it there. I just can't take it. It's not, especially after yesterday, taking things away from my levels is kind of what gave me that unfortunate drawdown of the day. But today we're looking to stick to our levels, stick to our idea, and then go with that. The only caution that I should be having really is that I'm right on that 200 level. But honestly, it is my level, so whatever it is, it is. If it flushes it, cool. If it bounces from it and we get stopped, at least I stuck to my level, and I went from there. So overnight high here, I consider this the overnight high. This technically, right where we're at right now, this 213 was the last candle pre-market. So technically that's overnight high, I guess you would call it, but really it's just the manipulation area. Microsoft still selling at that low. NVDA just not populating, pushing highs, but now pushing down a little bit. If Microsoft bounces from this 411 area, then it has some chop to go, but I think it has room to pull back to 409.86. Well, maybe even 410. 410.50 for Microsoft if it breaks through this low. Sorry if you hear the lawnmower outside. I like this heaviness. I don't like that it's not kind of just melting off right now, but I'm cool with the way it's acting for our idea. Kind of ideal situation would be another push up into 220, kind of just fail that as well. Just can't hold on to that gain, not get a bunch of buyers to come in, have Delta do what it's doing right now. Heavy Delta, right? Price trying to buy up, not happening. Opening range high, we're sitting right on top of that. The opening range high is 212 right here, 212.75. If that gets accepted back into and starts to rotate back down, then potentially look to see if it'll rotate fully. But like I said, I like this little pop-up. I want to see price try and give us a new high and fail to give us that new high. That'll give us more confidence in this failure here. Yeah, we'll tuck it into there. That's a nice little spot. It didn't quite make it down there. I like that failure of 220, right? Just like I said, the whip up into 220, the failure of that level, Delta never popped back up, right? You could see buyers are not stepping in at this level. So they're pushing back up, fail. If it gets above and holds, then you might see buyers stick in, but I do think that there's more of a chance that price recovers back to 172 than it does try to continue this breakout for the time being, right? It's got to come back. It's got to breathe a little bit. It doesn't have to, right? But that's the idea behind what my trade idea is here. Yeah, I threw this trend line in there. If it acts as support, then it'll bounce from there. But if it breaks and flushes, it just gives you that added layer of confluence to just take this trade, make sure that you're in it for more than one reason, right? Tilt's only 56%, so it's not terribly heavy. Delta is heavy. Price is still trying to get back into that opening range. If it does get down, opening range low is this bottom of this candle here at 197. So if it breaks through 197, probably gives you even more of a heavier flush. Microsoft still breaking downside, so maybe the market tries to catch up to Microsoft. I don't know if Apple's doing anything that's holding the market up because of that AI news. Yeah, it's breaking above 184. So potentially Apple might be giving us some relative strength. But NVIDIA, Microsoft, both on the lows. So I think this wick off high here, if it continues on, it continues on without us. We don't have any executions. If it breaks through the low here that I'm talking about, this previous day high, that green line, I will look to have it accept into yesterday's range. Yesterday's low is all the way down here. I don't think we're going to get that far down. I think down to this overnight low isn't unreasonable, right? That's not an unreasonable target, but also at the same time, 172 is going to be a pretty important level. 172.50, watch that for some consolidation if it does get down that low, if we get triggered, all that jazz. And this really allows me to limit my risk, right? I could put my stop up over 210 if I get entered here and feel safe that if price really wanted to pull, just bounce me in and bounce back up, probably would run into some resistance here up into that level there. So that's why I'm really looking at that. I wouldn't hate fading this overnight high right here just to kind of front run this. Also kind of tighten up my risk some, also with this trend line there. So it's something I am considering, but I'm just going to watch this price action a bit some because I don't want to just get ticked in and then have it run me over, right? A lot of people looking to like limit in on that kind of order for the long. So you could see that looking to try and break through these highs potentially. Still watching that 220, maybe another wick off on it. Still have deltas not really giving you that strong pop, right? A lot of times you'll see something like this big candle here on an explosive push up, but this is going to start to show its hand a bit more than the way this is. Yeah, this is like it's starting to build in here, but it's not anything like how the candle's actually acting, right? So we're wicking 220. If you start to see this thing buy up really hard, then that's a different story, but you're not. You're getting priced to try and fight it. Delta's fighting it. So we're getting a good battle here at that 220 level. I will do this. I'm going to short through that, and I'm going to limit my risk above 14. So that gives me above this pre-market, this other pre-market high that I talked about, right? This level right there. This technically was the highest point prior to market open. That's why I, just talk about that level there. Be mindful of it. This could go. If this does go, then this trend line, if this trend line cracks, that gives you another added layer of confidence for that short to kind of come in. If Microsoft catches a bid down here at the bottom end of 411, 412, then you may see this start to pick up some steam again and break out to the high side. But if Microsoft flushes this low and continues to trickle down, I think the disconnect between Apple and the market could allow this thing to roll over because NVIDIA is also rolling. Amazon is creeping high side. Meta, Tesla. The only thing that's showing strength is Apple, and I don't trust Apple to prop this market up just based on the way they haven't been working together very much. So you get another lower high here. You get a little bit of a wedge type pattern coming in. If it breaks to the downside, it breaks to the downside. Then you got, I want to see if S&Ps will crack this little support level too here, this little trend line that's formed. If S&Ps goes, that's really what you're looking for, right? But if S&Ps holds that level, then you likely continue on upside. So you see how price is ticking up. You got Tilt still pushing 60%. What's Delta doing? Nothing. You're not getting new buyers stepping. There's actually a decent push. You saw how that sped up and you got a decent amount of buyers come in right there, but nothing that's a huge divergence as far as I'm concerned, right? Price really trying to push through highs. Delta is all the way down here. The only reason I won't be shorting at this level up here is because it's not at my levels, right? I'm not in my levels. I'm not in an area where I would be able to execute this short. But if you really consider the distance of Delta compared to the divergence here, right? Like Delta's only, midway back and price is trying to make new highs. Just based on that alone, this 224 level would interest me. But I'm not entering up here because I don't have my key price level, right? That should just add the confidence if it breaks the low, that overnight level, that it's a true failure of the overnight level and not just a tick, wick in, wick out kind of deal. Microsoft is a little bit happy to bounce off that little bit of a pull up on the NQ, but it's not like a really convincing bounce. So that 224 level is going to go. You could limit your risk to the high of the day if you're looking for a delta divergence just purely based on that and not on the actual strategy of waiting for levels to crack, because I want the added layer of confluence. I want things to be right when I'm, in an area of interest. That's when I can limit my risk. So be it. If it moves and does all this prior to me taking that short, then it does. But I have to wait and see if my levels work, right? This is a great setup as far as that was concerned. I see it coming in. You could kind of, like I said, you could have front ran it a little bit. This 224 levels where I said that may be a good breakdown point. So just watch it, risking to high of the day there. 224, 34. You're really not risking much. Taking a chance at a cheap short could have, you could have executed on it, but that's not what my strategy calls for. I'm just kind of talking through what I see and what you're, thinking possibly. So that's the idea with this stream. Hopefully it kind of helps you out. If you could have already been in the money 10 points and either secured it, or you could be break even at this point and then now seeing that price fail. Beautiful move, right? That was really, really nice. Hopefully we could fail this overnight high, and we're in. So we're in on this. Stop loss above that 214 level and see if we can add if we get below key levels here. I don't know if we're going to get that full flush right now, but my initial idea was to short through that level. I would add a contract below here if I could get heavier, but that's just based on the way price, if it was going to act quickly. So I am going to take that right there. If it wants to get heavy and get through that level, I'll be happy with that. I'm not going to add. Disregard the ad. I'm going to let this thing dance a little bit at the VWAP. If I can get through the VWAP, then VWAP acts as my resistance. It acts as my stop. I want to get a full rotation. That would be really a helpful day today. That's just what I'm looking to do here. If I can get through VWAP, that's where I'm going to start to trail my stop. If this is going to go, you saw the strategy up top, right? You saw the setup come in. This is not a fast move currently yet, so I'm not trailing quick. If we get onto VWAP, I have to go to break even. That's just kind of part of my thing. But I'm going to go not break even. I'm going to go over that overnight high there just so I can limit my risk. If it gets heavy, there we go. We're getting heavy, getting onto VWAP. So now there's the flush of the VWAP. Bang, daddy. Let's go. Get down to the lows now. If we can get down to the lows, I'll be happy. Maybe I'll stop selling one more down here if it wants to go through that level, although it could be just a wick off, and that's that. I'll go over that previous day high. If it wicks above that, then that's going to be dangerous probably for a long. Yeah, so that's that. On that short, that was a good move. We took a big piece. We took a small little piece, but that move was exactly what I called out, right? So if you were listening to what I had to say up here at that 224 level, then potentially you got into a really nice short right down the VWAP. I'm going to look for another failed break above that overnight high, push up into that 212 and look for another short setup. If I can't get it, so be it. I will be out anyway, but I think that rejection of VWAP does not help my cause, and also the S&P is rejecting the overnight high to me is kind of an important reason to get out there as well. So overall, really, really good move. That's, just what we're looking for. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to execute up here just based on my rules. That really would have been exactly what I looked for, but down here, I entered, got a little tiny piece of it, and not mad about it. But I want to see if I can get popped back up over that overnight high. If I could get a little whip up to, say, 210, I should be able to get into another short. I will set the stop sell here, and I'll creep it up to the overnight high if I can get up to 210. There we go. Let's do that. If I could fail this one now, potentially look to get short through the level again. All right, we're short again here from this level, risking to that high there. If it goes and runs us over, it's okay. I'm just looking to try and maximize my abilities here and get involved in things that I believe will work out. Higher probability around my levels, right? If VWAP goes, then VWAP can really help me out here to really convince me that this is going to continue short, right? I'm going to go break even again. I'm quick to break even, as you can tell, just based on the way price acts around these levels. If it's going to go, it's probably going to go quick, and I want to be involved and limit my risk, right? I don't care if that stops me out. I'm already, waiting to see if price is going to confirm me fast. So if it doesn't confirm me fast, I'm not going to be in. If I could get stops through these levels, I could re-enter these things. It's okay. It gives me shots at my levels to do what I want to do, right? And then when the flush does come in, then I'm in it, and I'm in it for a while. But Microsoft recovered 412 pretty easily, so this may pop after grabbing that liquidity at VWAP. So the move that I really needed to catch was up here. Once you flush this 14 level, which is that technical pre-market high right there, that's really what you're looking for as far as a really good flush move down to the downside. Could I have secured a little bit more on this wick? Yeah, but I think we can still get some downside momentum if we can get some follow through on it. But I just need to see it happen based at the levels and not where I can just pick it out. But that was a really great setup call. I appreciate you, Leezy, for taking a look and listening to what I have to say through all this noise. Absolutely. Yeah. I just know for my personal success rate, when I wait for my levels to come into play, I'm a lot better. I'm a little able to execute more. Some people don't care about levels. Some people are just into great setups. That was an excellent setup for, it was like an A setup. The only thing that didn't make it an A plus was that these overnight levels and previous day highs were down here. So you're getting a lack of follow through on that push to the high side there. Delta's still creeping downside. So if we could wick above this opening range high at 212, again, I will set my stop to go off there. Let's see if we can hold this, and maybe that VWAP goes on this push down. That was really heavy. I know it's a bullish environment. Yes, that's kind of what. Oh man, 855. Part of my rules are wait for that hourly candle to close within 5 minutes. So if I am not able to execute currently, I have to let this hourly candle close. That's just part of my thing. My personal rules. What's up, Jofi? How we doing today? Hell yeah, good job. I'm up $34. Really, my setup came in up here way above my levels. I called out this short, right, pretty much at 224. I said if you want this short 224, then you could. And then the short coming through that pre-market high at 214. Now that overnight high is coming in, and really I bet my short comes in now because I can't execute. But this is really part of my rules because of the hourly close. I need to see where this candle goes. There's also like a quasi number coming out, this whatever you call it, this economic optimism index. And I don't want to get run over at 9 o'clock. if that comes out and does some stupid whippy algo action, right? There's that move that I wanted, right? Another one, another time. If I would have just taken that first contract off at VWAP, then I'd have been in good shape. There's the short that I'm really looking for. Probably comes in now, but I'm sticking to my rules. The ability to stick to your rules are going to keep you in this game long term. There will be another trade today potentially, so I'm not so concerned about missing this one because of the time that I'm not allowed to be in the trade. Reasonably speaking, just stick to the rules. Let your rules tell you what to do, what not to do. The reason I do this is because there's just been times where, some of these stupid numbers that don't really mean anything just wick you in and out when they shouldn't. And then after that hourly opens, then you can just settle in a little bit. So that's really what I'm looking for as far as this hourly candle. I want to see this possibly hold VWAP, push back up into our level, and we could short it from there. If it just continues on, then I'll look for a bounce at 151. 172 is that first real target that I mentioned, 172.50 to the downside. I had that short through here. Like I said, I was risking just above this 14, so technically would have never really got stopped, but based on the way that price moved, once it started getting fast, I needed to trail out. This next move down, the one that I tried the second time on the retest breakdown, you can see that didn't work out because of that. Just it needed that extra little push over 212 to get some more liquidity. You could see S&P's is holding that overnight level as best it can, sitting on top of VWAP, now trying to break through the bottom of VWAP. We do have a minute and change left. Delta is pretty much going in our direction. I mentioned this setup because of this huge Delta divergence, right? You can see price made highs, Delta made highs, really strong wicking candle, melted off. Delta just continued to push off down. Even as price tried to tick back up, you still see red Delta candles. Price pushes back up. Price pushes all the way to the highs. Delta doesn't even make it 50% of the way back. And that gives you the indication that there are sellers coming in spite of the price moving high side. So that's what I look for. I want that at a key level. Instead, I think if we leave this overnight this opening range low behind, I think the shorts can come in. So really below VWAP, just be looking for that to kind of roll to 172.50 if it goes. If it holds this level and runs, then we'll see what happens. If we break 214 on this number, whatever comes out, then maybe it continues high side for the rest of the day. 9 o'clock, nothing. That number came out as 63. Consensus was 58. Previous was 57. Didn't do anything to the market, which is good. I'm glad it didn't affect us at all. So push us back up over that overnight high. We'll try and short it one more time. VWAP is kind of getting really tight to it, so it's very difficult for me to say that that's a short quite yet. I would like to sell this below here, but I don't want to do it. Pop back up over that overnight high. See if we can get above it again one more time and then fail it. That opening range low is right here. 197.75. This is really the trade right there. Bang. Not mad at it. Also, this one that I wanted to take, not mad at that either because I had to wait for that opening, that hourly candle to close. I had to wait for this number that didn't really make any difference to close. If we could get this thing to go, I missed it.
Order rejected.
Damn. Just tried to short it because I saw this S&P go. That's really sad. Maybe I'll sell it. Oh.
Order filled.
That's where my ad was going to be, so I did take that short. If we can get down through there, then maybe we can get heavy pretty quick. 172 I did mention. So there's that pretty quick flush. Hopefully it holds. I'll risk to the high end of that candle because if that doesn't hold, then it probably rotates back up high side. I don't want to risk the full risk. S&P is trying to reject, not really quite playing along with this. Come on, get heavy and go. Heaviness was there. S&P is trying to recover that level. Still holding below VWAP. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to risk over this candle because I don't think that if it recovers over this candle, then back to previous day highs. There it goes. You see that pop. I'm not playing around with that. Down 113 on the day. Not really wanting to play with that level. I want to see this thing get back to our levels. Microsoft looks like it wants to go long. If this recovers this level, let's see. Delta, nice pop in Delta there, holding VWAP. Oh, the range high is there. We break that opening range high, then we're off to the races to the high side. Let's give it one stop to the buy side. Holding the VWAP, break above this level. See if that'll give us a nice little push long side, right? You can see Delta trying to creep up now that price has done that. I want to see it get up over those levels, flipping to the long side, try to just take a little piece of it. Maybe it'll try and run the highs again. You know, this little wedging action going on here. Holding VWAP. That 14 level is probably the quick first target. Then above that, up into the highs. I think that we do have the ability to get through 212, 215. Let's see what happens. S&P's is now holding that opening range. I mean, that overnight high. If S&P's goes with that flush to the downside, potentially looks like it's a sweep and grab some of this liquidity down here and then rotate back up. That break above this opening range high does lead you to 224. That was that initial breakdown point. Potentially could look to see if that'll be that first target, that 224 area that I was talking about for the flush. You can see that's why I risked only to there, because if it did break this level, it probably goes right to overnight highs, which it did. Could have grabbed that again. Once again, there's probably like $300 or $400 that I could have taken off the table already, just purely based on just taking that one quick 10 points, quick 10 points, quick 10 points. But I did not do that. So we're seeing the market well. We're getting good level reactions, and just not capitalizing on it the last few days. Not a big deal. We will get back in the zone. $65% short. Potentially look for this to turn a little bit. You get a higher low. Push up through these levels here. Get through this zone right here. And then possibly look for that long to come in. If not, if that just rotates down, like I said, down to 172 is my next real area of interest, 172.50. Russell trying to break overnight highs. Microsoft flushed that 412 and gave you a nice buy side move, which is why I think this buy side probably comes in a bit more. S&P's holding that level, looking to bounce from there. So that's where we're looking at our overnight high to be that ignition point once again from this point over here. Look for it to be the ignition point there. See if this will be just a good reason for VWAP to hold. Longer term, hold. Absolutely. If you're up 2% and you feel like you're done for the day, there's no harm in taking your money and running, especially if you feel like that chop is coming in. I definitely don't disagree with you at all, Jofi. Did catch that support there. It could be that support level again. Just have that stop out just in case we do take some sort of just rocket off to the high side. I need to see if we can get some sort of follow through down through the lows, if that's going to be the case. But to me, kind of doesn't want to hold. This is going to get irrelevant. Irrelevant. Microsoft curling. Do we break this low this time? That 188 level to the downside. Avoid FOMO, avoid chop. Look for your levels. Play your levels. If you feel like maybe it's going to get long here, then that's why I have that above there. Apple, curling, NVIDIA, bouncing right off of a key structure level, 892.23 to the penny. I mean, I got to show that. Look at that. Beautiful level to level move for NVIDIA. Yellow to yellow. My lines work. They do. I promise. They do work. We are kind of just in a range here that I don't have a ton of opportunity quite yet. Delta pushing up a little bit, holding up a little stronger, flattened out. Price trying to push up. Delta just flattening. Could this be just a hold of that opening range low and then another rotation downside? The Russell was pushing up, so just be mindful of that. This was a wick off here. Could rotate down through 188. A breakthrough 188 gets you to 172, I think. That would be nice. Optimism index, 41.8. Optimism index, 41.8, opposed to 44. I'm going to let it go. Kind of winding up. Which direction does it want to go? Price is kind of just totally settled down now. Completely flattened out. I really like that short up there. That was my go-to setup, just not at my levels, which did not allow me in. If we do get a good break of this level here, this overnight high, I do think that a volume comes in. I think it pushes us up into that 220 potentially. So I will be maybe quick on that long, but I will trail to 214 as we approach that and then beyond if we do get that break above the overnight high and push on, continue to the upside for a little bit. Microsoft turning downside again. What about NVIDIA? NVIDIA is still just kind of holding that 900 level just below it. Could we get some downside pressure? I'm leaving that there for now. Getting rid of this because I don't think it's needed. This could be an important little wedge support here. Delta not giving you any sort of pop on Delta. There's a good pop, actually. And we're in, apparently. There we go. We're in long. Risking to view up, but I want to get tighter. I don't want to view up. Right there. Did not get that volume pop. That was the wick off. It's probably going to rotate us downside our short idea. Interesting how I get absolutely to the tick wicked in because I was trying to be safe above this overnight high to not get wicked in, and I did. So that's what I'm looking for momentum wise. Really not looking for that to kind of just flip on me. So if we do get this, I will flip back to my short because I think that crack goes to the downside if this doesn't hold, right? So I'm willing to flip it, not because I think it's going to chop or anything like that. I think that just gives up the go if it doesn't continue high side. It's just got to go kind of quick. Alrighty, let's see what happens. If it can go, it's going to go with some force, I believe, for a breakout. If it doesn't break out, then this failure comes in and we're out. I think we can tighten our stop here below that. See if we can get some longs to come in here. Microsoft could catch a bid. It would be a beautiful thing. Help us out. It's only 54% long. Delta is pushing up with price. If we can get above this opening range high, this 212 should give you a nice little pop because that's opening range high. That's value area high. A lot of information there at that level. So if it can get above it and hold it, it should continue on. If not, then a failure comes in right there, and then that's where you start to get heavy previous day high. I'm going to risk not too much, 175 on that. Tighten it up to that previous day high because if that goes, then we probably rotate downside. What's NVIDIA? NVIDIA is trying to break up over 900. If NVIDIA can get up over 900, maybe it catches a bid, drives us up, gets this second contract on, then we can get one off at that high and then see if we can get a runner on to the high side. That's really what I'm looking for here. Going to limit my risk on this. There's a secondary entry probably looking to get above 14. I'm going to limit my risk. There we go. See if we can get that second contract to run up. I'm going to be at break even totally. If the ad doesn't go, then it's fine. Catch a bid here and we'll be happy campers. And we're out flat. See, if I wanted that to break and go and not look back, if I'm going to not get that ad to go, get that runner on, then so be it. I could have took back that profit, but I think that this does go to the high side now that we're trying to get above that opening range. Now, if this fails this time, then that opening overnight high, opening range high, all that stuff comes into play for the short side. That was a good long. I just tried to add a contract to maximize the gain, and I stopped myself out, which is just another good practice that I follow for myself. I'm not too concerned about it. We're going to watch the 224 level, as I mentioned, as that area of interest for where we took the break for the low. That sell side move there was from that 224 level. If we can get some sort of divergence up here again, very similar to that price action, maybe you get that level to break and then a rotation back down to VWAP. But that looks nice. That's a nice little push up. 224 just got tagged. So I would have had at least probably just about have one contract off. The ad worked, just ticked me out, and then went. Your style may be a lot different than mine as far as being tight with stops, trying to be right quick, trying to be wrong fast. But that's how I've been able to maximize my gains. And when I do catch a winner and I catch a runner, you've seen, if you've been here before, you've seen how strong that move comes in and how well I'm able to capitalize on those types of moves. I mean, it helps me do a little bit better with timing, and then it allows me just the ability to just make money and then limit my losses. So you could hate on it all you want, you could love it all you want, but I'm really just into being right fast and wrong even faster. So if I could be wrong quick, but in a way where I could limit my damage, right, then I'm happy with that, right? Looking at the delta, trying to creep back down. If we can accept back below this opening range high, I think that possibly leads to some selling. But realistically, this seemed like the long was going to come in here, which it did, and we were in good shape. We threw an add on. Maybe that's a detriment, but we entered in at 208. Right above here. So 208 to 214. Honestly, yeah, it just takes stress off. I don't care about missing out on some of these moves that happen like after the fact, because it's just not the type of price action that I want to be trading, right? Just, if anybody tells you any different, like you're just, I understand the thought process of you won't make a ton of money. You can. If you do this all right and you scale it correctly, then you could just keep doing the same thing and just trade a little bit bigger, trade a little bit bigger, trade a little bit bigger, and then your profits grow, right? I think the mindset of me allowing thing 201 to 214, that works. I like it. 201 to 214, baby. I mean, I was talking about this long. I got in at 208 because I was waiting for that ultimate confirmation, but I think you were in the right shape, right mindset right there for that long at 201, just front running it a little bit at that level, and then where I had my ad, that's where you take off the profit, right? That's kind of, I'm just trying to work on some ad stuff. I think with that, I just wanted to see this thing blow off. I'm cool with accepting that it didn't. NVIDIA is selling. Microsoft is not breaking out, so I don't know if you're going to get a ton of follow through the upside now. Potentially a hold below this 214 level, rotates us back down here, which then gives me confidence again to try another short through. I'm going to set it stop sell here. I'm going to creep it up. I want that thing to get back down through that level. Just going to give me an added confidence that breaks down. Yeah, I know. That was my thought before that 200 level, and it really worked out even though it was 200, right? It flushed it. I could have took that money off there. I took a small win on it. It's cool, but just I wanted to see that thing follow through, because obviously you've seen my winners, my runners, if they go through that and then just melt off, there's a chance that it runs, all the way to the overnight low. I still think 172.50 comes in today. So I'm going to draw this level up for you just so you can see it. 172.50. This area here, I wouldn't be surprised if that area gets targeted at some point during the day today. Could I front run it here at 14 for the flush? I could. That really was a nice move there. You can see how this works. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist. It works very frequently, and maybe just taking those base hits gives you that win. Delta flattened out, price started to tick down, accepting into the opening range. Watch this flush. If this gives up the bottom here, watch out. 172.50. This purple box is probably here now. That was a really wicky candle. Hopefully it goes now. Otherwise, I'm going to get burnt. There we go. Come on. Get through that overnight previous day high. Get through that level. We'll get heavy fast. Let's go. Come on, baby. You know you want to do it. I'm going to leave one contract on because the ad burnt me before, but I bet you now that it doesn't. I'm going to go even here. There's the break of VWAP. Stop. So do I add to this and then take one off? Add down here, take one off here. Up 200. Go to the previous day high. If it's going to hold VWAP, then it holds. If it doesn't hold VWAP, we're going to go all the way to the lows. I want to get on one more. Come on. Get through VWAP. Yeah, I'm even for the day. Took that base hit. Very heavy flush. I'll add again if it gets through that. We get pop up one more. Pop up one more time. Hell yeah. Good job, Jofi. I love it. I mean, hopefully you guys are catching moves based off of some things I'm talking about here. I think realistically we do get some heaviness into this market. I'm going to sell through my previous day high here. Potentially, if it pushes back up over this blue line, then I'm going to get tighter. I'm going to try and short it again from that level and see if I can get a good flush through these levels. I think this wick of the VWAP potentially is a false wick here. I think we get through the bottom of that. I will look to maximize my profits today, trying to do it aggressively. There we go. That's nice. That's nice. Get through that. Get back up there a little bit. A little bit. NVIDIA wicked off 892, but if NVIDIA can get back down to that 892 level, I think we get a nice little flush. I'm at even for the day. I think if we can get this flush to come in, we could get this to play out here. Just buy myself that next trade, that last one. This is going to buy me this one.
Order filled.
Not heavy risk, right? I'm just risking right up over that level. If it gets me out, it gets me out, right? But I think if we're going to get heavy now, we're going to do it pretty quickly. And we should be able to maximize our gain. Down to 72. I'm front running 72 to get that second contract off, right? I'm able to tighten up my risk, so I'm able to add that second contract.
Order filled.
There we go. Come on, get down to the lows. I'm at break even already. You see that? Add break even. Now I'm risk free, double the contracts. If I could get the good flush, then down to 72, then I could possibly capitalize on it. If I don't, then I get break even. I don't care. It's cool. Get in the mindset of if you stop out, it's okay. Get into that mindset. Because you can maximize your gains to the downside or upside or whatever. You know, if this goes and it gets heavy, then you could just continue to pull off some risk if you want. I think if we get heavy here, I'll take that right there. I'll fast trail it. And now we're going to fast trail from here. See if we can get that first contract off at 73 and let the one runner go. That's really the ultimate goal. If we get stopped out, we're up 130. Take that base hit and go. Take the base hits. Take the base hits. Take them. Take them. Take them. Take them. I'm cool with it. Cool with it. Let's go. Went red to green, executing on our levels. We're working on ads right now, so some of these you might see slightly smaller, right? That was basically I went break even on the ad and I took off my contract. So if it does flush down to 172, like I said, then you're in good shape, right? You know, you could have risked a VWAP and still probably been fine. If you had that one contract on a fast trail, I pretty much didn't lose anything but $2.80 by having that ad on, and then I would have anything where it would have flushed down, I would have maximized that return on that short. So like I said, overall we're just going to look for that next good trade here. We're seeing really good price action off of that level. Do I think we could flush this bottom? I do. I think 190 goes, 188 goes, then you get down to 172. Microsoft ticking down to that 412 level. I would just be cautious for Microsoft to bounce off that 412. NVIDIA also bounced off of 892 and is starting to bounce a little bit to the high side. My short bias is here. This is that first entry that you could have been looking at right there. This is something to be mindful of. I watched this exact type price action around a key level, right? This 14, you flush the 14, you have that rotation down every single time. I mean, my winning percentage is 70-something% currently on this account. You know, my winners are bigger than my losers, so I make money. That's just how it works. That's all you have to do is just try and find the thing that works more than it doesn't work. And then just kind of keep hammering it, keep working on it. We're at 72%. You know, we ticked down because of yesterday. But average winner, 216. It was up around 230. Yesterday we had a couple trades. But we're still at 72% winning percentage. and our P&L's kind of just chopping around here, but we made that next level, so we're kind of in that next level of P&L, right? So we are waiting to see, what we can do here, make a little bit of money. I don't want that up there. I want the chart. Price slowing down, 66% tilt. If this gets like heavy tilt, once you crack 88, potentially that failed breakdown happens and you rotate higher. Microsoft broke through 412 and now looking to tickle off on lows. Nvidia is still holding on lows. The S&P is holding above VWAP. That might be the leader, but if S&P goes and tries to catch up to the NQs, maybe you can catch a break of that, 513.50 level for a breakdown on the S&Ps using the NQ as your leader. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. It's almost 9:30. We've almost been open for about an hour. Onto the caffeination segment of my day. Although I'm always bearish in the markets, seemingly, I am bullish on caffeination. Looking to just crack this 88 level, which it just did, but not getting heavy follow through, right? Not a lot of volume. Price did not give you that good flush right there. Let's see what Delta's doing. Delta, not making new lows comparative to previous time we were at this level. So potentially watch it for lack of follow through on this touch. Maybe if we get to it one more touch, potentially look for it to rotate up. S&P is still in their opening range. Russell's well above the opening range, and NQ is below. Do we break out and come back into 220 again if we hold this 88 level? Sort of like yesterday, where let's see if we can get 5 minutes and get over to yesterday so it's a little clearer. Yesterday seemed like we kept doing the same thing, right? Getting down into that key level of 1880, bounce, and then you kind of rotated again, tried to break it one more time, bounced off of that. Today's sort of looking very similar as far as price action is concerned. You're getting to that same level, bounce. This is a heavier candle here on the 5. I do think that the 1 shows you a little bit more information. I like the noise. Some people don't like the noise. I use the noise to my advantage, right? For these types of entries, you're not going to get that total detail here or this technical detail there on the 5, right? I'm looking for those things for intraday quick entry type moves. Volume is ticking up some, so be mindful of that volume. S&P is looking to crack the VWAP. If it does crack the VWAP, this bottom goes, 172 comes into play, and that's where you're at. If it doesn't, fails the wick, sweeps the low, rotates back over the overnight high, and carries on up to highs. But that little gap there is a little manipulative. Bigger buyers there. VWAP is flat, so anything below it, I expect some more range type movement here until we can get out of it. Yesterday, price movement didn't start really coming in till I got off the stream, so probably not worth going hard. Call it a day today, kid. Well done, Ray. I think realistically you're in the right mindset. Once you go up like that, there's no reason to give it back, especially on the way I anticipated this week. Price action is going to be this way. It's going to be a little bit, not that it's going to be messy, it's just going to be slower. It's not going to give you the great opportunities, the great follow through on the moves right away, just based on the lack of information. Right, there's not going to be after last week, that expansive week of data. You're not going to get that same kind of follow through that you're looking at. You may get it. I mean, it's just less likely to get it. Right, it's really all about probabilities. I'm gonna delete this. That's a pretty important level, but I'll deal with that if it gets to 214 again. Get rid of this. Not necessary. What is presenting itself is these things right here. Let me do this. what I look for a lot of times as well is for bearishness. This is a lower high, lower high. We got that delta divergence, that really good setup. You're looking for that third attempt to break through the highs. This failed to break that breakout point, right? That where we broke down from, that 224. Since it failed to do that, this is giving me the thought that we're not going to get very many buyers above this level or very many sellers to come on in. So if we crack above it, then the run goes past this level. If we can't get above this or near here again, the next push downside could give you the opportunity for that bigger move to the short side. I want to try and find it on my other chart. So give me a second so I could see like where that's happened in the past, where you could see what I'm talking about. Even just looking at it on the 5 on the overnight. If you look at this on the 5 on the overnight, this same type setup, right? Bigger, higher high, lower high, expansive blow off kind of top, lower high, then a significantly lower high below that breakdown point gives you the final flush, right? Once you come back down into it of the level below, right down to the key level. So we're pretty much in that very similar location anyway, but a little bit higher up. You crack through here, then potentially down to 172 is not out of the realm of possibility, right? That's just kind of my thought on all how that works. If that makes any sense, let me know. If it doesn't make sense, let me know so I can kind of break it down a little bit further. But that really kind of just tells me that this 88 level wants to go sell side. I don't know if it's ready yet, though. It's kind of acting with this. I think there's something going on. Microsoft is popping. Not popping, but it's bouncing off lows. Apple is still creeping downside. NVIDIA is working its way back to 900. The real level for NVIDIA is that 900 level. If it could break above and hold, yeah, it's hard to watch, but it's important to watch. I think if you want to do this long term, to understand, right? Or learn our lesson from yesterday, because yesterday I was a jagaloon and hammered in, hammered out, hammered in, hammered out. Not that they were wrong. They were just above my levels, right? They just weren't, if I played the same way I did yesterday, today, I would have been up a lot. But technically, I wanted to learn a lesson and not do it again today, right? So maybe my P&L is not like crazy high compared to what it could have been if I would have executed on this short and that short. But I stuck to my rules better, so I find it to be a bigger win because I'm able to limit this price action down to points where I'm interested in where I want to actually play along and work it out, right? So I think it's important to see this price action on days like today. Understand it's a day that you don't want to be trading anymore. You made your money. If you don't want to be tempted to trade, go walk away, shut your computer, turn it off, do something to lock yourself out. If you have Top Step X, hit the lockout button, and you won't be able to trade anymore. I still think I'll have another opportunity today, so that's why I'm still in here. If I get back over that overnight high and then fail it again, potentially that could be my opportunity there. Microsoft is catching a little bit of a bounce, but it is wedging, so I think potentially rotate back down to 412 could occur. If we do crack above this overnight high, does momentum come into play, break us above this 24, and then rotate us higher? I don't know if we have many. 277, like I said, that's the other area of interest overhead. Do we get that momentum? Is this just building in those buyers to get us up over there, or is this going to be finally that breakdown the next time around? So these are the questions I ask myself. The 77, we'll call it 75 to 82. That's the next target to the high side. Those are the areas of interest, 72 and 277. Yeah, out of way, Jofi. Shut it down. Go to bed. I'll talk to you later. See you tomorrow morning. As always, we'll be here trading for tomorrow every single day, 8:30 till 11 Eastern time. Central time, and Jofi time. I have no idea what time it is, so I might have made a guess. 6 o'clock or something p.m. Not even a guess, and then I proceed to guess like an ass. You can see just not popping above that. 52% long, just pretty 50-50. Yeah, you're on your own time. I like it. It's your own time zone. 637. So that was pretty good. Low volume. If you break above 213, 212, potential look for that long up to 224. But it needs to break with good delta. Delta's trying to creep up, not playing. There we go, a little bit. Buyers starting to step in a little. Held up better than before. Tried to break lows, didn't break lows. Grab that liquidity. Russell looking to creep up. Microsoft still creeping upside. Did not crack that little wedge. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Short through this previous day high again to catch one more move down. I'll do it. Just playing with my levels here. I'll give it one more shot to the downside before I flip my ideas long. But I think Delta helps us out. I think we can crack through VWAP. I think we can crack through 200. And I think we get a little bit more selling to come in. Maybe I can get myself down to 72. Although I don't think it's going to be aggressive. So I'm going to see if I could be patient with this. Apple had some sort of event. See if it can get short now because people don't like what they hear. Microsoft just literally hasn't moved. It's like a tick for tick, just no volume. NVIDIA rejecting 900 again. That's another reason why I like this, to maybe fail break this level and rotate back down, at least to the lows here, 188, then potentially to 172. That's my goal here, to try and get that price to move that direction. And then if it does crack 188, we'll see where it goes from there. I think, like I said, 172 would be that first area of like where I start to trail tight.
Order filled.
And we're short, risking to that high, basically just a little bit there over this structure here. Once again, below this level, if it gets that, I want to take that off there. Let's get that siren running. Let's run that siren. Bang. See if that thing will help us push this to the downside a bit. Run the sirens. We're below VWAP. We're pushing lower. Microsoft's running lower. NVIDIA rejected 900. Let's see if we can get ourselves down through 88. I'll add at the bottom here because if it does flush, then it's going to go down to 172 on this time around. The third time's the charm, breaking that level. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and then we'll be pretty much even. We'll be up a couple hundred, and then whatever we do with the stop, we do with the stop. But I need that follow through to kind of happen sort of soon. Does the sirens help us, or does it not work out here? We will see. $941. There's a nice little pop up. Do I add down here? I do. I'm gonna add there. I'm not waiting. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. It's holding VWAP. Looks like it wants to crack this overnight high. We're going to pretty much be even on the day if this stops us out, which it looks like it wants to do. There we go. We're stopped. Flatten all. Break even. Back end again. Where's my flatten all button? There it is. All right. Still lacking that follow through to the high side. Still don't like that long idea, right? Price is pushing up higher. Delta's not pushing up higher. I think we do get this to eventually flush. Come on with this. I like this short still. You might not like it. I like it. I like that there's not a ton of volume breaking us out over this overnight high. The 208 levels where I got triggered in before, and then we kind of popped up and then failed. So if the 208 level doesn't give us a go again, should fail this overnight high, should fail the previous day high, should break this level to the downside, and then we could get a limit order off here and then see if we can get some bigger moves. Limit order there. You can see Delta is still not acting like it wants to break above this level. You know, price just gave you some whippy action right to the high end of that opening range, and Delta is going negative. So I think we can, if we do get a sell to come in through our overnight highs, we could potentially get something in on this. Another choppy day, but I do like the price action to work in our favor. If it does just kind of creep up upside, then so be it. We'll be pretty much no longer interested in this move. But I think we can get, if we can get NVIDIA to fail 900 again, give us another rotation down, Microsoft start to push back into 412, then that helps our 72 level come back into play. NVIDIA is sitting at 900. The price is exactly 900, 902, 920, 902, 900. 955 is that line in the sand that I have. You can see our levels reactive. I'm shorting through this potentially, right? I'll risk to that high there, see if we can get this thing to go. Get heavy quickly after the fact. Microsoft pushing down. Just trying to be patient here for you, but also execute, right? I want to execute. I want to make sure that this thing, at my levels, I can make some money on them. If it doesn't want to go, then it's okay, but I have to try my shots. I got to shoot my shots. I got to execute at my levels. I think S&P is just sitting on VWAP like this. If it does want to crack, it'll crack heavy. And then if it does crack this line, then we should be able to get, there we go, we're in. Above that high there. Really could risk above here. Let our trade kind of play out some. There we go. We are short. We're going to see if this thing will go this time around. If the S&Ps can break through their VWAP, or if it's going to just hold VWAP once and for all. We're kind of at that decision point right here, right? You can see it's just sitting on it. Delta is heavier compared to price. That's why I like this short. But it did build that support level. God damn. Just grabbing my liquidity and going. It knows where it's at and knows what to do with us. Microsoft heavy. NVIDIA not breaking 900. Lots of short reasons, except for S&P's holding VWAP and us dancing around with this level. This 214 level was that previous day, that pre-market high level that I was, talking about over here. That's why I put my stop up over it, because I think if it cracks above it, then maybe we go back up to 224. Just playing with my levels, seeing if I can get something to work out here. This looks like it wants to get heavy through this little wedge. Maybe we could get the S&Ps, like I said, to work its way through VWAP, but it doesn't want to go. It seems like it wants to hold that VWAP, but I could see prices speeding up. You're seeing that heaviness come in. Sellers want to come into this market. I want to be involved if they do come in heavy and hot. Really, like that's kind of that's my game, right? My game is catch a fast move at the right time. Yes, I lingered in this one a little longer, but possibly this break here is the one where we do get the true break of this level. If not, then we get stopped out and we look for the next one, right? If that's going to hold there, how am I going to be mad about that? That looks like it wants to be heavy. And then now it holds, right? There's the stop. In a good spot, and we're out probably there. There we go. Held that view up. We're going to flatten out. Still just another day of just kind of choppy mess for me. 268. I do want this level to break, but I want it to break hard and fast. We're still in a reasonable, manageable position here. Excuse me. One good trade away from having a good day here. This is going to be something like this here. See if that holds. Holding view up. Delta actually gave a nice pop there, so that was a good little act in that direction. But you can see price is wedging out up the top. All right, Zuka-san, we will see you tomorrow. It's just not an ideal price action kind of day for everybody. Just try to be patient. Try to let your stuff work out. NVIDIA is failing that level. I'm going to just stick here at my level and let that work out. Give it a little bit more confirmation. When the heaviness does come in, I want to maximize my ability to make money. Microsoft getting some strength there. We're getting a little bit of good push on the Delta. I like the way this is wedging out a little bit here at that opening range high. Although Russell is getting a little strong candle there, pretty strong to the upside there. Possibly if it breaks 82, then this whole market can follow the Russell. Just crack that trend line. There's a nice little pop up to 20. Do we fail the 20 level again and rotate back down like we did before, or do we continue on? Is this going to be the follow through up to that 277 level? Is this enough liquidity grabbed here down these lows to rotate us back higher? We'll see what happens with NVIDIA at 900 and Microsoft at 412. I'm going to get rid of these for a second. You can see the way this held is super strong. This grab, this pop here is pretty interesting. That was a really strong delta push to the high side. Do we reject 224 or do we continue on all the way up to 277? Like I kind of anticipated, high side targets were 277. I didn't think for today. I thought maybe later on in the week. So potentially watch these highs for a rejection as well. If not, then we continue on. Like I said, we did work ourselves into a good situation being up. We just took a couple paper cut trades just now. Brought ourselves from green to red. So we will work ourselves back to green. We just got to be patient, let some things set up. Maybe something like this again. But in a tighter fashion, maybe something like this here. Just that portion, that 230 level, acting as resistance. NVIDIA just cracked 900, gave you a nice little pop to 903, pushing up towards 906. The pre-market low on NVIDIA is 903.50, so it's right up in there. If it fails that level and holds and rotates back down, then potentially could get back down through 900. Microsoft is getting a little heavier here. Volume ticked up on both of those. heavier long. 224 acting as support right here. You flush 224, this value area here. Value area high at 220. If we stay range bound, we probably get back under 220 and rotate back down to the lower end of value. But if not, if we're going to continue back on, except out of value and rotate up, it'll hold 220 and just continue to creep up to the high side. Kashkari is talking about higher policy, higher, tighter for longer. And this market's going up for some reason. Let's see. Can we get this flush at 224? Or are we going to continue on? I played with my levels. I actually considered going long through this overnight high prior to taking my last shorts at it. Just didn't flip. And now you can see that momentum kind of carrying on based off of the way 190 held. I talked about how yesterday's price action kind of gave you the same sort of idea. So we're going to kind of wait and see. 955 is kind of coming in. 953. So we're about 2 minutes away from not being able to execute anything. If we can't get down into this trend line area, this 220 area, then I'm going to be waiting to see what happens at 10 o'clock. A little chilly in here. Overall, I am okay with the executions we've taken so far. I did a couple ads. This one here was good, just didn't get any follow through on the ad. We didn't lose or anything like that. This one where we got that follow through could have been up a little bit on it without the ad, but you wanted to see something like this happen when you do have that kind of when you want to add that contract and keep it going on. But we only went break even on that too, so it's not really a big deal. We are breaking highs here. Let's see what Delta is doing. Delta not breaking highs, so you are getting that shorter term Delta divergence, right? Price making new highs, Delta not making new highs. Potentially look to see if you get a heavy tilt to the long side, 70-something% and higher. Watch for that to fail at above those highs. But maybe one more leg, one or two more pushes up, even break the high of the day at 236. Then that gives you the idea maybe it wants to go and fail that breakout from that high right there. So we'll give that. I'm going to give it a level, but I'm not going to really mark it. So that 236 broke. Does it fail? The high of the day on the S&P also right there. I want to give that a level. I know I have it down here. High of the day break. I can't execute until after 10 o'clock. So we are just watching these levels. I added this level up here just so we could visualize the high of the day break, right? High of the day break. This is what I was mentioning with this. If we do recover this lower high, this significantly lower high, potentially that rotation up higher above the highs comes in, which you see coming in right now. If we're going to stay range bound though, potentially this just gives you a false breakout and then rotates back down. I want to see a heavy tilt. And then look at that Delta, actually really big buying coming in at that level, at that break of the high of the day. Although the Delta did not make a new high, right? So you are now starting to see that big push. Delta now pushing, price pushing. Everything's kind of working its way to the upside. Watch out for that 277 to be your target to the high side if this continues to hold. I have to hold and wait to see what happens at 11. Let this hourly candle do its thing. NVIDIA did kind of get into that opening rate, that pre-market low, and it's just lingering around that pre-market low in that area. Microsoft dipped down into the 412 area a couple times, grabbed some liquidity, and kind of just sitting within my range of between 412 and 412.50, 412.60. So if it does accept back above that, I would expect a rotation above into pre-market levels of 413, 414. Just watch, 413, 50 up to 414. And then if it does crack that high, then rotate up to 414.92. If all that happens, then 277 probably does come into play today. Just that next level overhead. Held that support level, rotated back higher. Like, I didn't anticipate prices to push up that high that quickly today. Really wanted to see a bit more rangy action. But 277.50 probably comes in if this holds coming into this hourly close. I would kind of anticipate this to just continue to creep up, especially with the S&Ps continuing to grab its bid right here. Another level to watch for the S&P is 52.40 even. And then up into 52.50 if it does continue on upside. 52.50 would probably be my high target there. If you're looking for that continuation. 958, we are down one full loser. We do have plenty of opportunities left in the tank here today. Running into a bit of a losing streak. It is what it is. We are seeing the levels really well. Everything's kind of coming together. Just our executions aren't perfect. You know, some of this choppy price action does get you into a little bit of trouble, personally, but that's just me. Probably once I was up that 150, looked to really find something else, but I was just looking to maximize my returns on the day. So I took that short off the overnight high again. No follow through break, tried it, didn't get it. So it is what it is. We have 1 minute till 11 o'clock. See what happens with this price action. See if we can get any sort of follow through up to 277. I would be interested in something around that 277 level. Like I said, I did anticipate a bit more chop today. So maybe a return back below this high of the day rotates us back down. So I'll watch for that as well. A failed breakout here. Now that we're into the 11 o'clock hour, or the 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, you have that upper band of VWAP here. If you return back below that 240, expect that 224 to come back into play, right? Delta is still kind of just acting the same. Price still just creeping upwards. You got a big push there. 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left in the hourly candle. Let's see what happens on this new hour. Higher delta, price pushing up, price wanting to run a bit more. So 277 looks like it wants to get tagged, but I'm going to be cautious on any sort of moves up here, right? As you could tell, on days where we go trendy, I kind of have a hard time. If we didn't get to this overnight low level and try to go long to trend up, or fail the overnight lows and come back down into this level, right? This is my normal strategy that works out pretty well. You just didn't get the follow through on those moves, and now you have a breakout type idea. So I don't usually normally play these, so I'm going to start to look to build these into the playbook to try and capitalize on both types of strategies and understand when this is going to fail and when it's going to actually work out. There's got to be a tell, and I have to be the one to figure it out. Unfortunately, when you are trading, it is you versus you, so you do need to work on how you're going to maximize your gains and what you're going to do as far as your strategy is concerned, what keeps you in trades, what keeps you out of trades, all that fun stuff. So just be mindful of that. I do it live on stream, so it adds a little bit more, pressure into doing things right perfectly all the time, which sometimes gets me into a little bit of trouble, but I'll be all right. I turned the bull out there, and now he's running us over on the mug. Let's just get this down a little bit. There we go. Cool. Ready. NQ 277. I don't have anything else that I'm really interested in as far as levels are concerned. 277 seems to be that level. 244. Another key overhead kind of like wiki area. Just doesn't seem convincing, right? I mean, something about it just tells me a little bit of heaviness wants to come in. I like 44. I want a heavy tilt to the high side. I want something like 80-something% of blow off kind of top. Otherwise, it's going to continue to grind up. If we could recover the opening, the high of the day in the S&Ps, then maybe we could recover the high of the day and then go down below the high of the day on the NQ and see if we can get ourselves a little bit of a rotation back, recover some of this move here that we took to the high side.
Order filled.
Front running at a touch. If I can get heavy through these levels, I'll be happy. Delta push down. I want to break through this upper band of VWAP here, down through this 44. That's why I liked it through there. I think we can get through 44. We can get through 40. And then potentially we can rotate back down to 224. Yeah, it looks like it wants to push up a little bit on that. The 244 level wants to hold. I want that upper band of VWAP to act as our flush point. That's really what I was looking for there as far as the short there at the high. Kind of just took a shot at this short through this level here too. Like I said, that 48 breakthrough here, break through this kind of little support level, give us a flush. It's been working in the past, so I am going to try it. I did try it. I'm in. I'm on the short here on this side, trying to see if I can rotate this down through that overnight, the break of the high of the day, and then rotate back down into that 24, take one off, and then see if I can rotate the rest of it down to the overnight high. That's really what I would love to see. Will it happen? I don't know. But, this is the kind of idea that we got to have to try and maximize our profits on the day. That 44 just wicking it. If we get down to that yellow line, we go to break even. If we get below the yellow line, we're adding a contract, trying to take one off at 25. Because I think if we crack through here, we do get heavy kind of fast, right? 40 is another level that I'm interested in. So that 40 level is the value area high, or it was the value area high. Now value area high is all the way down here at 225. So this upper band of VWAP really needs to help us out. We need to get lower on the delta. We need to get heavy delta, heavy selling. That's really what I want to see. Come into that yellow line. Give me an idea of if we're going to break through the yellow line or not. That's why I have it a little bit further down below. Obviously, my levels that I play around are reactive because otherwise we wouldn't be dancing around this place of interest, right? But we shot our shot at this short. We want to see if we can get this thing to follow through a little bit. But it looks like stair-stepping to the upside, fighting some of this momentum is my nemesis on the day. So 2 days in a row of kind of just not quite getting through some of my moves here. I do want this above this little wick, though. I'm not just adjusting it based on structure, not how much I'm risking, not like changing my stop for anything, but realistically just don't want to get wicked here and then it runs down like it just did. All right. just not seeing it well, I guess, over the last few days. The last week or so has just kind of chopped me up. May has been kind of shitty as far as where I'm at personally on these trades. Still got one trade left in the tank for the day. See what happens with it. See if I can get myself a delta divergence here. See if I can get that nice setup. It looks like it wants to. Maybe we crack below that 44 again and get a nice short. I want that heavy delta to come in. Maybe we wick the high. Rotate right below that upper band of VWAP. Come right back down into that 224 level. Get ourselves back to something that we can manage as far as positions are concerned. Like I said, I will add through that low. It's kind of why I moved that stop up there. But it ended up wicking me anyway. So we're going to just throw our stop just above this high here. If it stops me out again, then we're done for the stream. I would like to see this thing flush through the lows. Get back below that overnight high breakout point is what I want to see the recovery to. Just try our best with that. If it does fail us, if we just continue to go upside, then so be it. Not looking to pick a top. I'm just looking to pick the pullback, right? That's the difference, right? With the delta strategy, delta divergence type strategy, accepting now below that upper band of VWAP. Hopefully we can get through that low and I can get my stop to break even, at least give ourselves the opportunity to get another trade in, right? Let it play, let it do its thing, let it dance, get through this low here. If we get through this low, then probably that yellow line comes into play. There we go. We're in there. We're at even. Now we have the opportunity to maximize our gains a bit. I want to see this. Take profit down here. If it's not going to fail, then we're going to get stopped at break even and we'll be fine. If it does fail, then we'll at least have the opportunity to make some money on this and get another trade in. Seems like it doesn't want to go. It wants to just wick around, dance around a bit, and doesn't want to quite stop us out. So maybe the heaviness is in. Maybe we just stay just above this candle. I'll stay just above that candle. I'll risk $20, right? Just so I don't get wicked out. If we can get lower, then I'll be happy here. That's another candle. I don't like it. Let's see. I'm out on this.
Order filled.
Yeah, it's just too choppy. Not a lot of follow through on that. So we're going to leave that alone. Delta's flat. Price trying to push down. We're at that VWAP upper band. Curling a bit on Russell. S&P is still holding above that higher day break. But there's not a lot of like big follow through on that. Are we going to get a crack at this now? There's the break. There's a push. Do we flush 44 after that break? Or is that going to be a nice momentum break? Looks like a nice strong delta push to the high side could look to run us up. A failed breakout does push us down below here and gets us involved. That's just what we're doing. I'm playing a failed breakout. This is the opposite delta divergence. Delta pops off high. We try to break highs. We don't make it there. A breakdown below this lower band of VWAP potentially rotates us down. If price catches up, then you're out of luck there. But it looks like it kind of is lingering around, potentially looking to get people involved in a long, potentially look to see maybe we get a pop up to 60. And then, like I said, up to 77 is that next area of interest. I like this, if it does fail, to rotate down What does NVIDIA look like? NVIDIA got up to 904, kind of just selling from that 906 level. It got up to 906, and then now it's trying to push down below it again. If it could get below 903.50, then maybe sales come back in. Microsoft still just lingering on lows. There hasn't been any real follow through, even with this upside move. So I think maybe we can get some selling to come to try and catch us up. I do want to get involved in this. I want to be able to make some money on the day. If it does get through 44, I kind of like that as a failed breakout and then a rotation back down. If it wicks us in, wicks us out, then it is what it is. We just got to keep executing based on the strategy where we can do this, make our money, get back into the green for the day. There are a lot of big buyers at 51. Oh, no, that's not good. Tradecaster not working. I don't know if Tradecaster disappeared or if that's just my internet or whatever. I'm just going to be cautious on that. Hopefully anybody still could hear me. I can't see my Tradecaster screen, my lobby. It looks like it's just possibly Tradecaster to give a little blip. Lots of size at 250, 251. 100 lots, 100 lots, 100 lots up there on the buy side, which is very interesting to me that you don't get a ton of follow through with that kind of buy side momentum. All right. Delta trying to creep down. Still 50-50 on the shorts. Tradecaster having some issues, I think. Lobbies, videos, lobbies. The lobbies is messed up for me. Are we going to take a breakout? Big size at the top there at 50s. It does seem like Tradecaster is not working at the moment. Let's see if it'll fix itself. Alrighty. Looking for an opportunity of a failure here. I just want to see some sort of failure. S&Ps isn't giving you the same kind of push to the high. Wow, why am I on a 30-minute on the S&Ps? There we go. Better. I really want to see some sort of failure. Very happy to get this thing to go down, but we are seeing some size kind of pour into longs. Looks like people want to get short through this level. I want to short through 46. My Tradecaster's not showing much. That was a wick off of the high. That's a high volume move too. Decent Delta pop on that. Delta's actually pushing. Let's see if it runs upside. I got nothing on my Tradecaster. Seems like Tradecaster might be down. I'm not sure. Wow, that's some whippy action. Let's see if we can get some shorts come in on this after this. I don't know what's going on here. Large size on the high end. I want to see if I can get somebody to get me in here and get me some money to be made to the downside. I like this short. I do like the short as well here. I don't have TradeCaster, so it looks like just YouTube's on here. So if you are interested, I am looking to get short here through this 45 level, failed break of this level. I want a fail break of that, fail break of the 36, rotate us back down to the VWAP. Hopefully get us a pretty decent little catch here, get us back to even, get us back green. And I think I could catch the second order here, actually below this as well. I'm going to be a little aggressive on it. Maybe I'll take one off. I'll grab one buy down into that 25, like I said before, if it's going to flush. We'll see. I do like the short. I want a failed breakout liquidity grab right there. That tells me a lot of good information. I do like that Delta popped right into a Delta demand kind of area. If it's just going to continue on, then so be it. Like, it is what it is. But I think that kind of rip off top there is a big liquidity grab, and I think shorts try to come in here now, and we're able to try and maximize our gains on a move like that where we are well extended from the VWAP. If we can get back down, we're holding that upper band of VWAP here, so let's see if we can get that to come back down. I'm not really sure what's going on with TradeCaster. YouTube here is working okay, so if you're on YouTube, still stick with us. I see a heavy delta candle coming in, so hopefully that heavy delta gets us to get into this market, gets us to short, and then we start to just melt off here. I think if we can get this up here, I think heaviness comes in. Oh, it's popping again above that VWAP. Maybe that's that final liquidity grab with the delta not following through. That's good. I like the area. I like the heaviness. I like that there was a very big size here that ended up not following us through, right? There was a lot of large buyers in that area, but it didn't give you the follow through. So that tells me that a failed breakout probably is likely to come in here, and we're looking to get in and then add to our position as it goes in our direction. If we can fail this this high of the day break, then we can get down into the VWAP. Kind of just lingering here at these highs. Does it break for real, or do we not? So yeah, you're getting diminishing delta on price that's trying to pop. Does it sweep 60 one more time and not give you that delta push? I think that's really telling that we're not getting follow through. So the break of this level here probably gives us that. Does it give it to us here? Let's see if I can get this thing below here. Tighten my risk up. Delta not pushing up. Price trying to push up. Delta not playing through. Russell just turned to the downside, which has been leading us high side today. So potentially the Russell turning over. NVIDIA broke through 906. I don't like the way NVIDIA is poking. And then I do not like Microsoft either, just lingering on these lows, just building. Hopefully we do get a failure here, right? You see Delta, there's not a ton of new buyers. And we're breaking this high again. If we could crack through this little wedge here, I think we could probably rotate us down. Like I said, I think that's a really good area. for this to just dip on us. I like the liquidity sweep. I like the fail to break 60 and hold. We're just sitting here waiting for that. You got this here. Not now. Delta gave you a little bit of a push. Still not trying to break the high. There's the high of the day break again. Once again, a sweep there. Delta pushing upside. Let's see if this will fail this time. If it does not, then like I said, 77 happens. Lots of buyers come in and then it just doesn't go. No follow through. There was a ton of volume on this one. Not a ton of volume on this break. I just have been chasing this short all day. I think potentially eventually it comes in. If it does, then we're going to get in heavy short and see how, if we can get through this pre-market high. I mean, the high of the day break. Come on now. Let's break down that 54 level. This should be that liquidity sweep short opportunity now to come into play. Waiting for the timing to be right. There we go. We're short. We're in on a second. Come on, baby. Get to the downside. Get to the downside. I'm going to take one off at that high. That high of the day break. Come on now. Break down. I need to break this down. I'm on 2. I want to take one off at the high and then just let the rest of it run down. Come on, get down to that breakout. This is where we are looking to make our money on these shorts. Just looking to see if we can get this thing to go. If it's going to fail us and we get out, then so be it. I mean, realistically, I want this thing to fail quicker. Like you see that liquidity sweep there really should be able to hold and break down. I mean, that's such a sweepy move. I should not be able to get stopped out on this above this level, but realistically, I added a contract on there, probably screwed myself over on the ad, but it really shouldn't want to get up over these levels here. Kind of taking a little outsized move here on my own thoughts. So I want this thing to get heavier quicker. Microsoft catching a little bit of a bounce, but NVIDIA did reject that level at 906. So hopefully NVIDIA getting us to be a little heavier here. Can we get down now through this low? If we can get through this low, I want to take that one off at 36. And then from 36, I'm going to try and let that, trail that second contract off as far as I can go. I don't think I want to get back above that level again where we just wicked up to. So if we do go above that, then I'll be stopped out. I'm okay with that. But I think if we can get heavy here, we should be able to see this liquidity push us to the downside, push us to that break of that high of the day break, get us back to even, and then we could trail out our second contract a little bit further. Can we get this thing to go deeper? Can we get deeper into this selling? That liquidity grab on top really just didn't do it for me. I want to get through this low here. I need to get through that low. I need to trail this thing a little quicker if it can go. Risking that 215. Not going to oversize the risk. I don't want to be above. I don't want price to get back above these candles here, right? I want it to get down and get through and get back to that high of the day break. Fail the high of the day break. If S&Ps could fail that high of the day, then we should get heavy. It should be able to fill this up and then go from there. But it really just holding this low here. It's really kind of dancing with me. It looks like Delta's getting heavy. Price is trying to tick up. Delta's getting heavy. Really, our stop should probably be at that 255 over that VWAP, that high band of the VWAP. But I just don't want to risk more than that on the day. 255. Yeah, no, it's still good. We're still good. We're still in good shape. That's good. I want to get down through this low. Hopefully. Come on. Get heavy faster. This is bullshit. 55 is my stop. I gotta let it happen. I added that second contract. Gotta let it happen. Gotta let it play. Come on, baby. Tradecaster is back, I think. Is Tradecaster back? Let's see. We have nothing. I don't know what's going on here. Come on. Get down through those lows. Oh, God. Come on with that pop.
Were they watching the price action perchance? Puts him right to bed.
Trying to hold this short, baby. Trying to hold this short. I mean, this big liquidity grab here tells us that there wants to be some more shorts. If we get ripped out, we get ripped out. But we're taking our shot at it with two, getting a little heavier on it. If we can get that one contract off down the low. I mean, that was a really great short opportunity there from this level. Maybe we shouldn't have added that contract on, but it is what it is. We added it at the low. So we're going to let this thing dance around a little at this level. I think the 55, 56 level, that upper band of VWAP should act as our resistance. And then we should be able to sell it down through that break of the high of the day. I think we have 3 minutes till a Fed speaker starts to talk. So potentially that gets us in a little bit of trouble. He has been talking about higher for longer type talk. So, I mean, maybe we get wicked out again here. Let's see what Delta's doing. It's flat. Delta's flat. Price action's kind of just dancing around. I want this thing to get through that low again. If we can get through that low, possibly. I mean, I've been playing this short all day. It's time to go, baby.
60, see if we find some thicker offers.
I want to get rid of one.
No, you're fine. Yeah, this is what makes trading so difficult at times is that you have to sit through the pain of these puckering moments where you want it to go down. It's right at your area. All you need is the market to just do one little tiny roll, and if you had a house account that you could sell 100 lots with, you could get there a lot quicker.
I think we're going to break the highs, and I'm going to get screwed. Kind of trying to hold this bad boy on the ad.
I wonder if some of these folks on their Euro desk were short into this move and looking to cover here before Euro close. Some liquidity here at 54. They just pulled it. Price coming back down right through that level.
Get through 54. Get through down now. Come on.
Very interesting price action here at this level, given where we are, what's happening. This is wants to be the first in the water at this level.
Yeah.
Get heavy.
Seconds out from the bottom of the hour, so we should see some fireworks here. Maybe
Take some profits, Euro. Take some profits. Euro. Take some profits up here.
now all you long traders.
This is very heavy, right? Like everything here, we're trying to stick with this. We're trying to stick with this strategy. We're working on it. Using some Top Step TV encouragement as well to kind of hold this bad boy a little longer. See if we can get through this short. I think really we're trying our best to get low, get heavy. I don't want to get through this level again now. Don't want to risk more than 200 on this trade. Let's get this thing to get heavy. Let's take off that first contract. Let's do this. Get heavy quick. Come on now. Get heavy. Get heavy.
We've been staring at this dang chart forever. It's about patience, right? When are we gonna get it coming?
It's good, Dakota. I like it. Look at that. Dakota has so much conviction in this trade. He'll fetch himself a water.
Staring at price action tends to get you parched.
Yes, it does.
Oh, throwing it down. You see this heavy red candle here. You got Delta pushing downside. Price not trying to go. 255 again. Seems like that liquidity area. Okay. If it gets heavy, it gets heavy. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now we just got to let it go. I'm not going to play with it anymore. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I just can't I can't over leverage this. If I'm going to let this thing go, I'm trying to let these Top Step guys talk me into keeping in a trade, right? I'm listening to them on the sideline. I'm trying to stay in with them, working on letting this thing ride a little bit, trying to make myself some good money on this short here with 2 contracts on. I added that second down at the low. Hopefully we can get through. I mean, I probably should have taken one off. Maybe that's really what it is. Take off that one contract and then see what the other one does. But realistically, if we can get this second one off down here at that pre-mark, that break of that high of the day, then we should be able to get at least some profits on this move, get ourselves back to even, I'm working on this thing to work its way out. I would like to get one off.
You have the actual website. You have the actual stream up.
Just get me one off.
I was just
Get me one off down at the lows.
.org or .gov. Which one is it? .org.
There's a heavy candle. Come on now. It was a little whippy. I saw a little price action dance. Little price action dance there. Delta's starting to get heavy. You see that Delta pushing. We're still good in this short. Still good. S&P's trying to break that low, but Microsoft looking to break through that high there. Yeah, I'm going to leave this stop just above that 52 because I think if we do rip, it's going to rip the highs, and I don't want to be involved in that break at that level anymore, right? If it goes above here, right above this 250 loss, I have to be out because I think that does push us back to the highs, and then who knows how high it can go. I said 277 is that level. I just hate to take it off now and then be fucking up big on the short after this big, like just waiting for this thing to go, waiting for it to go, waiting for it to go. Let's get it to go here. My fucking entry is like the line in the sand here. So if it could get through this low, then we should be able to get that bottom, but it doesn't want to go.
I've never been so excited and being flat. I want to.
There we go. There's a breakdown. Now we're even. Now whatever happens, happens. Let's go. Come on now. Let's go. Break the low. We fucking battled through this thing. We battled through it. We left it down there. We're holding it. We're holding it. Push down a little further. Get into that 36. Get into that 36. Get heavy. Come on. Get heavy. Oh my God. I got whipped out. I don't want this to buy. I don't want that to buy. Gosh. Damn it. Didn't get the chance to hold it. Stupid ass.
You just gotta believe that's the secret.
Stop sell through that low.
Button here on Top Step X, one of my favorite features on Top Step X. I just click right next to the unrealized P&L here. Look at that break even button.
He did say that we're not leaning towards rate cuts. Hold on. We will adjust policy as needed.
This was my initial ad point where I'm looking to get this thing short. Let's hope that we could get this thing short. Got a solid. Once we lost the view count here in Tradecaster, we lost all of our people. So we got to build this viewership back up again. We are down. We need one more downside push here down to VWAP.
Order filled.
Not understand what the guy just said.
Dakota, you're sitting pretty right now, yeah?
Yeah, I don't care what happens. We go up and we stop loss.
Are you break even in your
He did
stop?
the hard part. What's that?
The hard part was waiting through that rigmarole of 30 minutes of nonsense. Wow, look at that trade. That is a beauty.
Andre, I think this is where we talk some trade management, and I still think getting out of these trades, you can get your whole level, but I think you do 5-5-5. I'm a little more aggressive. 5 at the level.
Alright.
5 rolls
Here's cover
aggressive.
5.
Nice, Andre. Great cover. Very nice cover. How much do you realize on that?
Realize we got about we got still unrealized. What's this?
More from cash carry, raising rates not most likely, but it can't be ruled out. And as coming in here, if we see a marked labor weakening, it could spur a cut. It's hot off the wire, as I am watching it.
How you could get it? How many times did you see it?
Cover. It was a great cover for that 5 lot.
Perfect cover.
It's the IB high and value high from today. So there were a
Dare
couple.
we think Jack for that cover?
Yeah, that was Jack Hosting trade management here. And that's Jack Roma.
Jack Erasure.
What is it? How you gonna get it? 38s. I'm sorry, 39s. 39s.
Holding below this level here on. Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna stop there for a second. Flatten all. Give ourselves a second here to realize that we got ourselves a bit out too quick on that one after holding so long. That was a really good hold, and then now we're just back to down a bit. So we're looking to get ourselves back into a good area for a win here.
The way he said this, but if inflation becomes embedded, we may hike if needed. He's gonna get a call from Uncle Jerry.
not already embedded.
Order filled.
Well, I like this trade. Whatever happens in this trade, this is great thought process, good logic. Very top trade, good risk management.
I mean, it's about being patient, right? We sat there and we waited and we waited while it's right near us, and then as soon as it starts going in our favor, that's not
More
what we
hawkish commentary.
What is
I'd
it now?
rather.
We could be seeing for the year 1 or 0 cuts.
Oh, come
Your mouse
on.
isn't that.
Come on, Market.
He's really just teasing us here.
Huh. We need to go back to economics school because we just are not interpreting this at all. Yeah.
Hold on, breaking. Hold on. He just said, hold on, commentary coming through. Neil Kashkari, water is wet.
All right, looking like we are going to get chopped a bit here. Hopefully we can get the sell side move that we've been expecting this whole entire time to push ourselves down. I should have held that to the 36 level. Let's see if we can get this down through the low again. Get back to breaking through that high of the day break level, that yellow line there.
It is possible that we'll see
I've chopped myself up enough today.
or 0 rate cuts. The water is wet.
Mm-hmm.
Of the buyers.
Going higher unless, of course, it goes lower.
You guys see the top breaking post?
I saw some of it, yes. That was, oh boy.
Some good comedy.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. I'm like, man, why did you sign up for this? You're like the goat, man. Like, you don't need to do this. What are you trying to show? You're human? Like, you don't need to do this.
No, he's not.
I know, but this was his attempt. Look, guys, I'm cute. I can take a joke.
I need to see this thing get heavy here. Give me some heavy delta.
Order filled.
I added a second.
Back above 50s here, so that is good news for the short, to say the least. Even though every single headline, even if it's a negative headline, we are finding bids in the price action here, surprisingly.
Longest NASDAQ trade ever.
Yeah, very long NASDAQ trade for sure.
Yes, behaving.
Very patient, though. Very patient. You're doing
Yeah,
good.
you just have to practice patience. We're in the positive. Don't commit any short.
Okay, I won't. I promise I won't do that.
What's your average, Mr. Andre?
We're short 10 from 251 now. Short 10 from 251.
U.S. economy is in a good place, he says.
Close 5 at 39, right?
Yes, 36. Scratch that. 36.
36, nice cover. Beautiful cover. Thank you, Jack.
We need to talk about trade management.
He was right.
Well, I mean, he was right at the moment, but 10 minutes.
Oh, love it.
Dakota, what I'm saying is I agree with you about like laying stuff drawn. It's that I would spread out so that like if you have your target, you know, the master to runner so that you eventually get whatever your target is. It's just like
Exactly.
Are there any runners to be had in this market?
I don't think so. I think I need to get back to VWAP is what I need to get.
We bought at 180 in the 180s. But yeah, that's why.
I feel like price wants to get heavy, wants to break through this low again here. I've been stressing it a bit. Not tilting, but I just need to get these things to follow through. Like I mentioned it early. I mentioned it in my write-up. I'm not going to get a lot of follow through on a lot of moves, but I'm still just getting a little bit of not FOMO, but just from this market. The last few days, just not really great trading days for me. Hopefully I could get this S&P to push down a little bit further, so it'll help the NQ push down some as well and get me heaviness, and we can sell off into the sunset. Close the stream off green would be a beautiful thing here if I could get this thing to get down through that yellow line there. If we get through the yellow line, I can get to break even. If we get through break even, we can see how far we could trail this a little bit fair. You know,
That's algos. Come on, algos.
this guy wants the rates to be higher for longer. I think realistically we want to get this thing sell side, but it doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to get us sell side. So, you know, realistically, we'll see what happens with this move here. I want to get back to VWAP is really where I'm targeting. You can see my target down there. VWAP is that target. Trying to be with the longer hold here with the break back down. Microsoft still holding lows. Nvidia still not cracking highs. I think there's a lot of like heaviness in this market, and it just doesn't want to go quite yet. Do we get this thing to get going or not? We're outsized on our risk a little bit, but we're looking to see if we can get this thing to go. Risking above this little swing high here. Just want to see if we can. I added a second contract. I wanted to trade a little heavier today. If I can get a big sell, stop sell through there, even that'd be fantastic. Really get heavy. Not quite getting heavy. Not quite getting heavy. Flattening out in Delta. Oh, it's gonna.
Yeah, really should.
I think so. It's like building the pressure.
Nvidia bouncing heavily off the VWAP here. Not what I want to see.
Not at all. There it goes.
We're trading the Nvidia futures, as you know.
Essentially. Yes, essentially.
Stops in an okay spot here. Looks like it probably wants to push above that 45. Yeah, S&P is going back up higher. I think we're out. We're done on that. Looks like a shit day again today. Back-to-back crappy days here. Trying to just get ourselves into no man's land here. Gonna wait a second, be patient on it. Kind of let it go. Didn't let it go. Just crappy for me.
This position any longer. And again, I'm not in any position myself. I'm backseat driving over here. Feel like Jack right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like it. 100% risk. If that can't do it, what will it take? That's essentially what we're saying here. If that can't do it, what's it going to take? European close came in, we were trading the highs. Couldn't really take profits that much. Kashkari comes in, speaking obviously bearish, hawkish, call it what you own. Can't go lower.
Microsoft bouncing. Nvidia still going upside. What is going on with this market? I think 277 does want to come in, and that's where we're kind of at right now. 2 days in a row of kind of just chopping ourselves around a bit, not quite getting what we want on the markets. I did a couple, ads today where I didn't really quite get what I wanted to get. Shit happens. If we can get a flush of that 36, though, maybe we do get that rotation to the other end. I want to see if I could get, maybe one good trade to get in, and just not quite there. Not quite there.
Oh no, you didn't just say that, did he?
I swear to God.
What does that mean?
I mean, exuberance.
Have fun?
Nvidia going up.
It was Alan Greenspan.
It's a for saying into the bids. Yeah, throwback to Mr. Greenspan himself. Irrational exuberance.
Tilt's 70% short.
Maybe he's watching it from his phone as he's answering questions and the market's not rolling.
He's
So that's-
short.
He might be in chat.
You might be in chat, actually.
Try my best out here, babe. I'm trying my best here.
JD, I don't know if we're going to get to this leaderboard here. If there is time.
Okay.
Yeah, there's time. Let's stay focused on RJ says cut the trade. Cut the trade. Why not? The levels are holding up here. Pretty strange.
Oh man, what a trade.
What a trade. Rips his head.
I was so frustrated.
Dude, nothing's happened. Nothing's happened.
So you place the trade, put your stop loss, put your take profit, elite lunch, go to the driving range. You come back and see what happens.
Need to work on my slice to
I need a smile. I need this thing to rock to the downside one more time. I need this thing to go and take some profits, and then take some profits, and then take some profits, and we can make ourselves get some back in here. We're going to push into this VWAP, upper extended VWAP here. I think that band maybe gives us that resistance one more time. 60 level. That 60 level possibly gives us that interest.
10 minutes left here in fast market. Markets have been moving. What does that call fast? They haven't been moving. It's like grip.
Delta popping upside, price going to go higher. Delta not playing the full breakout game, so potentially look to see if this will go.
Just a bid. Just they're all bids.
Yeah, and it's so
That's
thin, too.
unfortunate.
It can snap right back down at any time with this thin of a market, especially when you're seeing these heavier offers coming in. But it's tough when you're seeing the market where it should be reacting to the downside on this type of news and it's not. That's usually when I just go to, I didn't trade any of this, but if I was in a position, I'd probably just go flat. And even if we do get that dump, it's like, yeah, whatever. I'd rather miss the trade than take more heat on this.
Yeah, the market's telling me something. You know what? Guys? You know what, House? Good idea, good execution. Just poor timing or just lack of market participation. What it takes for since you're getting short. We talked about this yesterday. The market needs a reason to go lower. The market does not need a reason to go higher. And
Cash already gave us about 63 good reasons to go lower. The market said, ha ha ha, nope.
Not so fast. I think you nailed it there, Robson. Yep. Yes. That's all right. That's all right. We take this trade 10 out of 10 times. Let the chips fall where they may. Probability game.
Yep.
We're up to
Probabilities. It's about having a positive expectancy.
Order filled.
There you go.
And not any individual day or even any individual week. And I'll take this trade every single time it sets up in over a year. Should have positive expectancy.
A law of large numbers.
Absolutely. It's basically all we're doing right now. P, that's all I got for width-wise on the chart. I got the ladders. I got time sales I'm watching.
I think he might mean like use your scroller and zoom in a little bit on the chart.
This.
Yeah.
Or the time frame. Lining up. Again, that.
There you go. Like a jumbotron. There you go.
Here comes some sellers.
Back down a little bit after
Hey,
three.
here comes.
A little bit slow.
Look at that.
Not a tremendous
Back
amount
meeting
of
sale.
130 lot there, down there at 245 quarters.
I can get through this 50, get through the 50.
50-50, so
Perfect.
that's good information to know.
Very,
Runs the highs. I'm done for the day. First time I'll lock out for the the account. Overall, trading like shit this week. I'm gonna be honest with you. Haven't really got the follow through I want on the executions. Traded away from my levels multiple times. These are things that get me into trouble. Obviously, you could see if this does work out, then great. But potentially, it looks like it's gonna lock me out of this account for the day. And we're going to go and eat lunch and hang out and do what we got to do the rest of the day, work on some business. But if it does play out, then maybe we get another trade in. We're going to see if we can work ourselves back to even, especially this far into this trading day. If it does wick us out, it wicks us out. At this point where we just got to let it lock us out, let the trade play out.
Everybody's watching. Chime in the chat there, Mick. Hey, just a quick while we watch this price action here. After this, we've got the Ask Me Anything AMA walkthrough of Top Step X with Robert. You have to be.
I bet you this goes after I get locked out. Oh, I fucking X'd out of my thing. Just overall, just shit. Nothing that's working out for me today. So realistically, should just kind of cut and go. This is just the live, honest truth of what happens when you trade and you overtrade a bit and you kind of feel the pressures of needing to make back some of the money that you made. There we are. We're locked out because we hit our max loss limit on the day, $1,000. So we're down everything we made last week. We're down back to even now. We have to work ourselves back to executing properly. Really crappy week. Come back tomorrow. Execute good. We got about 9 minutes left on the stream. Shit happens. I could switch over to this combine here and we can see what happens with the combine. I bet you it goes now because we are not caring what happens, right? If the combine goes, so it goes. Doesn't matter, right? What happens on the combine. So realistically, overall, got to be a little bit more patient. Got to stay out of these markets when you can't see what's going on. Still have plenty of room in the account. We're out. We're up 1,300. We now are technically drawn down a little bit more than we would like to be. shit happens in the market. Tomorrow we come back out and we execute according to our levels. Once you start feeling, once you start feeling that tilt, once you start feeling like you're executing based on other people's ideas, then maybe it's time to get off, right? I know you guys, some of the guys that are in here every day, all day, got off early because they were either up or down. Really great idea. For me, sticking on till 11 kind of just gave me the, the idea here to hammer in at this level. Obviously, playing in the chop, stupid idea. Looks like that's all that's going to happen for the day. Back at it again tomorrow. We're going to work ourselves back to our plan, start slow, build back up, work our buffer back, and then just go from there. We have plenty of time. Every day is a day that we could trade as long as we have capital for tomorrow. Unfortunately, hit my max loss limit today. That's just a terrible habit to get into, right? We got to limit our downside. Kind of just got into the trap of the day and just kind of continued to trade on and on and on when we should not have been trading on and on and on. Overall, like I said, you see it live. This is how we roll. We want to be here showing the transparency of everything. I bet, like I said, give myself opportunities to make money in these markets. Just be a little bit more disciplined. Over the last week or so, I've been a little less disciplined, and it shows, right? Obviously, we've drawn down over the last 2 days. We lost 7 yesterday and 1,000 today. So everything we made on this day, we've given back. Right now, we're back down to where we were prior to that day. Ugh. You can feel the heat when you're sweating on that tilt, right? Shouldn't have that sweatshirt on. Rock it. Once you start to feel that heat, you should know that that tilt is on. No more trades for the day. I'm on here every day, 8:30 to 11. Win or lose, we're out here giving you the best analysis of levels. Just execution-wise, I trade like shit. Once again, saw this breakout, didn't take it. We're still just not in the breakout trade mode, and obviously that's giving us some fits. I just got to get myself back into a nice little rhythm. Still have plenty of opportunities left to go for myself. The rest of the week, we could end back green. We just got to take it one day at a time. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 great trading days to be able to execute around our levels, make good decisions, take our profits when they're there. Like I said, early on in the day, I had a couple good moves here. Once could have took a little more profit on each of these moves and then been pretty much probably done on executions. I wouldn't have chased stuff up here if I was trying to not get back to even. Obviously, I locked myself out. Shit happens. It is what it is. Heavier tilt on the downside. Be cautious. Up to 77. I should have just waited for that level, and we go from there. I'm going to go log off for the day. I appreciate everybody coming by, seeing the tilt happen, seeing what happens when you start to lose your money. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how trading is. I'm not really too concerned because I do have plenty of room in my account to build this back up. And like I said, you can see that's locked out. This is the Express funded account, down 1,000. We still are up 1,300 on the account after our withdrawal. So we're up over 2,000 on the account over the last weeks. This month of May, we're negative for sure. We were up $4,000 in April. So we're drawn down a little bit here in May. We're going to go ahead and work our way back. We're going to work our way back. I promise you that. And then some, and then some, and then some, and then some. All right? So I'm going to try and take this short in the combine, see what we can get out of it. Just see if it plays out and let it just go. Overall, this short was correct too. I had it, I held it, and I broke even on it on a stupid drop of my trailing stop. So I was trying to move my trailing stop, dropped it too low on accident, and then we got stopped out before we were able to take that contract off there. Shit happens. It is what it is. You got to be executing properly. You got to be executing according to your plan. Don't let other people influence your plans. Obviously, you're on the stream, so I'm going to talk about my moves and stuff like that. But looking forward, we got to do a better job personally of managing my trades here. So tomorrow could come back and make all of this and then some. So I'm not too concerned, like I said. But we just got to be a little bit more patient, take a step back, and really refocus back in. So until tomorrow, 8:30 a.m., I will be here. I've got an account to trade, money to make. We are one day away from taking a withdrawal again, right? So we are still in profits, still have plenty of winning days. We are kind of doing a crappy job as far as the last 2 days are concerned, but plenty of week left to go. So I am going to see if I could get this combine to sell this off. I'm going to risk this and see where it ends up, because now it's going to end up where I want it to go based on my trading plan.
Trading on top set X. Somebody from my community just shared that story with me. Amazing story. MP, your reach is everywhere.
No way. That's
Add more.
Amish love us, Michael. The Amish love us, Mike. God. That's very, very cool.
So this is where that flush comes in.
We're gonna see you again. Everyone, thank you so much. But you're selling off right here.
I'll stay on the stream until this trade plays out, but I just want to see where it ends up. If I kind of screwed myself over on the last trade by just letting it go instead of giving it that one more time up to 60. I did mention that upper band of VWAP should act as our resistance to rotate us back down some. Delta hasn't been popping anymore, so the likelihood of this breaking out more is more likely than not that it rotates back down the VWAP, and that's our idea, our strategy on this. So on this combine, we're trying to get ourselves back in the green, because yesterday I just hammered out some trades and lost a little bit on the account. Today, the combine, I'm just looking to see if this trade will follow through after what I tried to do earlier, right? So overall, looking to see what we could do on this. Sell 2 more. Oh, no, I don't want to buy 2. Okay. See what happens with this. See if it breaks through or not. If it does add the 2 more, then I'll go to move this stop. This is going to be risking just over that level there on the combine. Yeah, just over that breakdown candle, over the high of that breakout level. So if we get wicked in, wicked out, it's all good. Until tomorrow, I think this is just going to kind of whip us around the rest of the day. Price is just not acting the way it could, especially on a lot of the comments. So just be mindful that markets could do whatever the hell they want, whenever they want. And it doesn't matter what your bias is, what your setups are. It just kind of is what it is. Just be out there working on it every day, build that mental muscle, and, work on avoiding what we did today. Is kind of the ultimate no for me, is that max drawdown, and I hit off on it, and it is what it is, right? So until tomorrow, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Let's build this back up one day at a time, and we will go from there. Appreciate everybody. I'll talk to you later.